This is Tracy, and today I'm going to be talking about Amonkhet, and it's so weird to say that because I feel like you guys keep saying that it's Amonkhet, but that just sounds like cats are being drenched in almonds, and I don't know, it just sounds really weird to me. If it's Amonkhet, whatever, who cares? Anyways, we're going to be talking about green cards in this video. If you haven't checked out my other videos for this set, you should definitely do that. I will list the playlist in the description bar below. Just scroll like all the way down, it's all the way at the bottom, it's just like all my set overviews. I just threw them all in one playlist. So let's talk about green cards. Green has a lot of like -1/-1 counters, and I don't really know how I feel about it. I feel like it's okay, but I don't know. It's interesting because typically black in the past I feel like has done -1/-1 counters, so it's interesting to see it with green. Yeah, green's like pretty okay. There's some pretty cool stuff going on here. So the first is Giant Spider, and this is a reprint. And I'm excited to see this card reprinted. It's a 4-mana 2/4 with reach. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing special, but I do think that this is a pretty solid common. There's a lot of flying in this. There's quite a bit of flying in the set, and I think having those, you know, things to block those 1/1 flyers and things like that, I think is really good. So this card's pretty important, and I like it. Okay, then I have Pouncing Cheetah. I love Flash. I just think it's such a cool mechanic, and I feel like there's not enough of it, and I wish there was. Yeah, I mean, really, it's got a decent body. It's a 3/2, but I don't know. It's just got Flash, and I just think it's really cool. It's also Cheetah. You know, cats. Cats are great. Okay, then we have Mouth Feed. Oh man, this card is sweet. I really like this. So Mouth, you create a hippo dude token. Bro. Yeah, that's sweet. I like it. Then Aftermath, draw a card for each creature you control with power 3 or greater. Guys, this is fantastic. I love this. I really like these dual-sided cards, or I don't know what like we're calling these, but yeah, this is just really sweet. I love the fact that it's like a hippo token. That's great. I love like all those random like, you know, why am I blanking on the name right now? Of like tribes and like stuff like that. Yeah, like tribal things. I think that's really cool. And drawing cards is awesome. I think this is like really sweet. Like, card is awesome. Card draw, very important. Love it. But I also love the fact that it's like not just card draw. Like, again, that's why I like these dual cards. I think they're really good. Okay, then we have Heaven and Earth. The flavor of this is really sweet. I like it a lot. So, instant speed, dealing X damage to each creature with flying. Really, really fantastic. I really like this a lot. Again, there's a lot of flying in this set, and I think that one of the things that green has always had kind of a trouble with is dealing with creatures with flying, so the fact that you can instant speed deal damage to creatures with flying is really good. And then the earth part, it deals X damage to each creature without flying, so yeah, card is really good. Really like this board wipe. I think I really like that Heaven is an instant. I think that's awesome. Yeah, really, really good board wipe kind of card. I like it. Okay. Then I have Rhonas or Rhonos, the Indomitable. Oh my gosh, guys, I love this guy. I think this guy is fantastic. So it's a 3-mana 5/5, Death Touch and Indestructible. It can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. But like, honestly, you're gonna have something like that's power 4 or greater. Like, let's be real here. That's just like, you gotta have something that's like that. And then another target creature you control gains +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Guys, this is so good. This card is really strong. I think it's pretty easy to get off the ability in this as well. Having another creature with power 4 or greater I think is like a pretty easy thing that you can do. And then just giving something, you know, trample and +2/+0. I love this. This reminds me a lot. I think out of all the gods, this reminds me the most of Nylea. Like, I think with looking at like the original gods, the OG gods, and then like looking at, oh, fam, there's a hair. Okay, goodbye. Like, looking at the original gods and looking at these gods, like, I think that out of all of these, I think that this and, like, Nylea, I think match up, like, the best. Like, I think green has, you know, reminds me the most of the original gods. It's really, really good. I just think the gods are really sweet in this. I'm really excited that they brought them back. This card. Vizier of the Menagerie, and I love the fact that it's Menagerie because it reminds me of Glass Menagerie. Any play people in here? Tennessee Williams? Yeah, okay. Play is really great. I need to like actually read that play. I was like involved, I was like helping out when that play was going on, and It's just really beautiful. Okay, so it's a 4 mana 3/4. Look at the top card of your library. I love this. You don't even have to reveal it. You can just look at it. You can do this like at any time. So you're like, sweet. Okay, you may cast it if it's a creature. You may spend mana as if it were mana of any type to cast creature spells. I think this is just by far one of the best cards in this entire set. Absolutely incredible. This is just amazing. My biggest disappointment is that it's not a legendary. There's so many cards in this set that I wish were legendaries and they're not, because I think they'd be sweet EDH commanders, and I'm sad that they're not. But this card all around does like everything. It's fantastic. Like the fact that you can spend any mana of it is just makes this card amazing. Like having, you know, running like green and whatever, you know, because the set, it seems like it lends itself towards like a dual colored set. So good. This card's so good. That card's gonna be, I think it's gonna be really expensive. I debated talking about this card, but I feel like I kind of have to mention Sandworm Convergence. This card's like a ridiculous amount of mana. It's kind of more than I feel like it should be, but it's 8 mana, and creatures with flying can attack you, or planeswalkers. This just like is like flying? No. No, no, no. And even if your opponent is not on the flying strategy, they're gonna have like maybe 1 or 2 flyers in their deck, so shutting some of those off is really good. And at the beginning of your end step, you just kind of create, you know, a 5/5 worm. I think this is one of those cards that's just like a game over. Like you probably get this off and you probably win shortly after this. That's how I feel about this and the black enchantment that I talked about. Is they're a lot of mana, and they are, but like once you get them off, you probably win shortly afterwards, so this card's really good. Okay, then I have Honored Hydra. Hail Hydra, just saying. Okay fam, so, you know, at first I saw it and I was like, guys, 6 mana for 6/6 with trample, I mean, that's pretty good, right? But then the Embalm is just 4 mana, so like 4 mana for a 6/6 with trample? What? What? That is so stupid. Oh my gosh, this is really, really good. I do think even without the Embalm, like 6 mana 6/6s with trample are really strong. Having like a really strong body is great, and all these snakes, like, it's just awesome. And that Embalm cost for 4 just makes this card, makes that super good. Okay, then we have Champion of Rhonas, however we're saying that. Okay, 4 mana, 3/3, you exert it. When you do, you can just put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield. This is stupid. This is so dumb. Like, honestly, I get that it's got, like, exert, so, like, you temporarily, you know, put this creature on pause. I think that's a good way of putting it. You put it on pause for a little bit so it can't attack for 1 turn cycle, right? So you have that, but, like, it doesn't even say, like, creature with power. Like, I would have been fine if this card was, like, with creature power 3 or less or something like that, but guys, it's any creature. You can just, like, that card that I just talked about before, that's, like, the 6 mana 6/6 with trample, just boom, plop that down. This card is fantastic. I think having this card and then having one of those creatures that say, like, you can untap it, right? Like, that works with that, right? It doesn't untap during your next untap step, so you can just untap that. I think that works, that synergy, right? Yeah. Oh, man, this card is sweet. So good. Okay, then we have Chandler Initiate. Okay, so when I talked about black cards, I talked a lot about black cards that cost, like, their mana cost wasn't high, but they have, like, really good, like, creature size, and this is one of those cards. So it's 2 mana for a 3/4, enters the battlefield, you put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. And that's kind of a lot. I mean, you're potentially killing off something, you know, giving it those counters, but you can put those counters on it. And you could potentially remove it to add 1 mana of any color to your pool, but then it would kill it, so that seems kind of bad. But still, you know, 2 mana for a 3/4 with I don't remember what I was gonna say with that, but yeah, it's got like a pretty good body, and, you know, putting those counters on it, it's not like the best card in the set, but I do think that this is pretty solid. And it's also like a mana acceleration, so that's always really good. Defiant Greatmaw. Okay, so when it enters the battlefield, you put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. When you put one or one or more -1/-1 counters on this creature, remove it from another target creature you control. This card really lends itself to that strategy. Like, you need to kind of be in this -1/-1 counter strategy for this card to be really solid. But guys, like, it's a 3-mana 4/5, and yeah, you have to like put -1/-1 counters on it, but if you're running this with like any sort of like recursion in the set, like bringing things back, yeah, real good. Card's great. Okay, Scaled Behemoth. Super simple, guys. 6 mana, 6/7 with hexproof. Basic, 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 but it's a huge body. It's great. And the fact that it's got hexproof, don't underestimate that. That's fantastic. Like, your opponent really just needs to get rid of your thing, you know? And I feel like, too, there's not as much, like, I don't know, I don't feel like there's a lot of big stuff in this set. Like, whereas, like, looking at something like Battle for Zendikar, like, there's a lot of big Eldrazi cards, but like something like this, there's not a lot of stuff in the set that has like big power and toughness. There's not a lot of it. So having a card like this, really good, you know. Card's great. Okay, Crocodile of the Crossing. Okay, so 4 mana for a 5/4 with haste. Yeah, EDTBs, you put a -1/-1 counter on something. I don't even care, guys. It's a 4 mana 5/4 with haste. You run this card. It's a fantastic uncommon. I think this card's great. Okay, Synchronized Strike. So I have talked about so much how I do not like instant sorceries that aren't removable. Very rarely do I talk about instant sorceries that do other things. But this is a really sweet combat trick, and I think this is going to work really well with Exert. So you Exert, right? You instant speed, you untap them, and then they each get +2/+2 until end of turn. This is amazing. This is a really solid card that I would definitely pay attention to and definitely look out for if you're playing green. I think with Exert, this is going to be really, really synergistic. I get it, synchronized, synergistic, that's just the synergy. I like it. Okay, I think it's sweet. This card's really good. I like it. Hooded Brawler. Okay, so this card may not look like anything special at common level. It's a 3 mana 3/2. It's not that fancy. But, you know, exerting it and then it kind of casually becomes like a 5/4 for 3 mana. It's got a big butt. Card's pretty good. Okay, and the last card I want to talk about is Haze of Pollen. I do kind of like that, you know, one card or so in there, which is prevent all combat damage. Also cycling if you don't need it, just to draw an extra card. But I do like cards like this. I love kind of like fog effects because, you know, I've been in circumstances where my opponent swings out, they totally have me dead on board, or they think they do, and they've got, you know, this removal spell in their hand and whatever, and they do their thing, and then it's just like, bro, prevent all combat damage. Like, you know, it's a fun sort of trick. I know not everyone is into cards like this, but I don't know, I'm kind of a fan. I wish the cycling cost was a little bit less on it, but it's also at common level, so they're going to be floating around the table like all the time. So yeah, this card's pretty good. Yeah, guys, that was it. We have one more video from the series left, and this week is over, and this week has been so long, and I'm so ready for it to be over. Filming like a million videos, I'm like really worn out, really exhausted, but yeah, okay. That was it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.